And that's when we realized that we've got to go all the way on clean energy. This is the only way that we're going to get out of it.
Hi, I'm Zena Harris, a founder and entrepreneur working in the entertainment industry for more than 10 years now.
And I'm Mark Rabin, a two-time founder and innovator in the energy tech industry and spent the last decade powering films, events, and festivals with renewable energy.
Welcome to the best of the tie-in. Yay, we're here with Lydia. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We're doing this podcast to elevate the voices of the people doing amazing work behind the scenes. And you're a powerhouse, and you always come to mind when I'm thinking about sustainable production and sustainability just broadly in the industry. So super excited to hear your thoughts and your journey and what you're working on in this whole industry sustainability evolution. So welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you all for doing this.
Yeah. So just, can you tell us how you got started in the industry, kind of how you started thinking about just sustainability in the industry? I know you've been doing it for a really long time, or thinking about it for a really long time. How did this all come to be for you?
Yeah, as you probably know, I've been making movies for about 3 decades now, and I have always been an independent filmmaker, but I work in Hollywood, outside of Hollywood, and with Hollywood. So it was around 2004. I was an officer in the Producers Guild at that time, and met Al Gore, and he was really looking for industries across America to really look inside their institutions and answer the question, can you do more? And so that was when we formed the first PGA Green committee, and the Al Gore team helped us secure a grant from the Alliance for Climate Protection to calculate the carbon footprint of a production. And so that was the first step. And some colleagues and myself, Mary Jo Winkler and Katie Carpenter and I, we started, we were practicing sustainability on our sets, just kind of ad hoc, putting this committee together loosely. And the studios noticed our efforts and asked us to collaborate on the Green Production Guide, which, became it was like a 15-year endeavor of a partnership. And over the years, we really messaged sustainability. It was hard in the beginning to get people to take it seriously. But, what we have seen being in this for such a long haul is that as the climate crisis intensifies, the concern from crew people is measurably increasing. And it's significant because what I realize now, and we spend a lot of time now that we're very focused on fossil fuels and talking about the health dangers of that with diesel generators on our sets, you realize that the cast and the crew are a human resource, and we spend our time on sets. We travel, we set up our little units and base camps and shoots wherever we go, and we're moving around in caravans, and we're out there in the elements. We're out there in the heat and the cold and the rain, and we are, experiencing all of this. And I don't, the people the rest of the people in Hollywood who work in offices and sit inside don't really recognize the human element of people working on set. If they did, we would not be inhaling diesel on our sets every day. So I think it's an issue, but it's something that we're all kind of coming around now together to organize with. And in terms of production, once the studios finally had, all of this carbon calculation had happened, and they released a report that, showed us the percentage of fuel and power that occupies the carbon footprint of any production, whether it's an independent film or an episode of television or a big tentpole film. It's at least 50%, if not more. Mm-hmm. And that's when we realized that we've got to go all the way on clean energy, and really this is the only way that we're going to get out of it. And we know that in the world at large, that's the same situation.
You are a leader on production, right? And in this whole space, how do you approach your projects? Like, what are you thinking? Are you talking about this immediately when you approach your projects? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, you have to do it right out of the gate. I mean, it is something that you want to communicate to all the people, as a production starts with a few people and then people come on and it grows into a big organism. So you have to start right at the beginning. It's really important to have the director on board. And Mary Jo and Katie and I have found that over the years that we just have to have that conversation right up front, and we need that buy-in right up front. And I think that you want to set achievable goals on a production. Every production is unique. Whether you're on location, you're on stage, you're in this, state, that state, you're traveling or not. You have to look at the specifics of that production and then say, what are the goals that we could set and make sure that, there is a clear path to achieving them, and then work hard to do that. And measuring so that you can reduce is important. It's not that hard to do. I've never had an accountant say that they couldn't figure out the carbon calculator. It's pretty straightforward, and they're tagging anyway as they enter costs into a cost report. They're tagging, so it's just it's not that difficult. And I think now the studios are moving more and more deeper into carbon calculation, and all of that tagging is super important. Assets tagging, what happens with them at the end of a show, super important. I mean, it's, I think we're all aware, and I hear them talk a lot about the impending regulations that are, imminent. It's not a question of if, it's just when, and probably soon. So I think it's an interesting time. I realize that in the sort of individualism of America, the culture that our country was founded on, this hierarchy of a film set and studios and all of it is just it's just intrinsically a part of that mindset. And we've been doing a lot of messaging in sustainability to counter that, because we feel that we're stronger when we work together, and we're stronger when we understand what each other's jobs are. Not that we're doing everybody's jobs. If you can understand what they are and where their sustainability pain points are, we can work together to solve them. So I think this kind of messaging is important. And it's really just been in the last 5 or 6 years that I would say almost every guild and union has formed a green committee or sustainability committee, and they're strong, and it's we've educated ourselves on what everybody's needs and strengths are in terms of coming up with solutions. So whether it's the Art Directors Guild, going deep into materials and toxins and alternatives that we all really have wanted forever, but never actually really explored the depth of the problem, and now the innovation of the solutions that are really coming at us quickly. But it's, we have to understand them, try them, give ourselves the feedback, share knowledge. So all of that is really important.
Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We'd love for you to like, subscribe, and share. We do this because we love doing it. We believe in what we're doing, and we believe in the amazing guests that we have. So please share this with a friend and a colleague and spread the word.
Our designer is Aaliyah Kane. Music is by Peter Chapman. Social media is by Sharon Ewan. Our editor and producer is Rachel Werbel.